Hello all! So I thought today's video I'd deal with a topic, a reason why people are probably watching my videos in the first place. And that is to figure out whether or not you're asexual. You know, you're probably on the net doing research, trying to figure out whether or not you are asexual, and you're watching videos and you're reading documents and you're trying to sort it out, and good for you. So a lot of people wouldn't get this. They wouldn't understand why it would be hard to tell. But as I've pointed out in other videos, there are multiple forms of attraction. And if you've never felt sexual attraction, you could mistake one of the other forms of attraction for sexual attraction. Easy mistake, it can happen. And also, as I explained in other videos, that asexuals can still be into sexual-like things like porn and stuff like that, so that can make it a bit unclear as well. So for these reasons, it can actually be a bit tricky in a few situations for asexual to figure out if they are asexual or not. So to make it a bit easier on everyone, I decided to share with you some tips to help you figure out whether or not you're asexual. Now, a bit of a disclaimer: only you can decide your own orientation, so these won't help you all the way. It's still your job. You still got to do it yourself, sorry. But these might make things a bit more clear. So here's some tricks of the trade to help you figure out your orientation. This might not just help for asexuality. It could help for figuring out most sexualities, I think, a little bit. So tip number one is read up on the different types of attraction. Since you're trying to figure out whether or not you feel sexual attraction, it's best to start at the core of that idea. Read up on the different types of attraction, like aesthetic attraction, romantic attraction, sexual attraction. Read up on them and try to figure out what they sound like and what you might be experiencing. So read up on those different things. See videos about it. Do not read up on attraction in general. Read up on the actual specific attractions. Not too many sites go over this, but asexual sites tend to, because it makes things more clear. So stay on those sites. Tip number two: keep a journal. Keep a journal and write in the journal who you find attractive and how you find them attractive. Don't summarize. Go into specific detail about who and how you find them attractive and what you'd like to do with them. If you were in a relationship with them, what would that relationship would be like? How do they strike you? What about them is attractive? What do you find about them that's compelling? Really write down really specifically who you're into, why you're into them, how you're into them. You know, do you just want to hold hands? Do you just want to joke around? Do you want to go farther than that? You know, be as detailed as you can. Also, in the same journal, write about your fantasies, if you have fantasies, and discuss about whether or not these fantasies focus in on specific people or if they actually focus in on ideas. You know, whether you're turned on by an idea or by a person. That's a very good distinction to make, because if you're turned on by a person, that typically means you're sexually attracted to them, but not always. But if you're turned on by idea, that of course means you're turned on by that idea, not necessarily that person. So it's good to write down your fantasies to kind of make that distinction. Tip number three, write erotica. It sounds silly, but it's actually an amazing helping tool because it allows you to go into a relationship, experiment without actually having to go into a relationship and experiment. You can write down your fantasies, you can write down relationships, you can draw things out, see what you'd actually do, put yourself into that scenario and see what would actually happen. A way to actually put yourself on the front line without, you know, having to go into a real relationship and potentially, you know, walking into something you're not ready for. You know, it's a way to test without testing, and it's really quite surprisingly informative. Number four, talk to other asexuals. But I say talk face to face. You know, if you talk to someone just online, they could be just anyone. They might not really know what they're talking to. So asexual meetups are a great idea. If you can, go to one of them. Great to talk face to face with someone, okay? Also read up on news articles, websites that actually know what they're talking about, okay? Don't just read random stuff. Read up on news articles, check out documentaries. Of course, you might want to do a little bit of research before you watch a certain video or documentary. Like, you don't want to watch Nymphomaniac just because that movie apparently has an asexual character, because that movie apparently does it really bad, hence the title. So yeah, be careful what you watch, but unfortunately asexuality is not well known, so you're going to have to do your research. So read up on news sites, watch documentaries, all that kind of good stuff. My last tip is be okay with not knowing. Okay, questioning and having no label are actually sexualities in their own right, and I guess you wouldn't want to come out to the closet as questioning to a lot of people because it's not supported that much, but realize that it's okay not to know. You know, it's okay to question a little bit and to go on life a little bit longer without knowing. So in essence, don't rush it. Don't speed along, you know, figure it out at your own pace and you'll be good. So those are my tips. Keep a journal about your fantasies and basic attractions. Read up on attractions. Write erotics, a story or two for kicks. Talk to other asexuals face to face if possible. And read up on asexuality and be okay with not knowing. And you could turn out to be a lot of different things, and it really, as long as you're nothing bad, then, you know, nothing like really iffy, then it's typically just fine. So don't worry too much about it, and if you can, have some fun with it. If you're into having fun in that.